Hi there, friends. We are reading in Acts, the 8th chapter today. Today we are introduced to Saul. As we are introduced to him today, we see him going in and persecuting those who are followers. And we understand that these persecutions are pushing believers into new areas, into new places to talk about Jesus. Philip is one of the ones that we talk about mostly here today. Philip goes into Samaria, and here we see that the people believe. We see that Peter and John come into that area of Samaria and pray for the coming of the Holy Spirit upon the believers that have been baptized in that area. But then we also see that Philip is on the move. Philip is now in a place where he meets up with an Ethiopian eunuch. The Ethiopian eunuch is reading from the book of Isaiah as he is traveling along. Philip hears him and immediately says, "Hey, do you understand what you're reading?" The Ethiopian says, "No, he doesn't." And so Philip begins to explain to him that which he is reading. He's reading from the prophet Isaiah, those passages that remind us of the coming of Jesus. And so Philip explains to the man what it means to have salvation in Jesus. And he doesn't hesitate. The Ethiopian doesn't hesitate to say, "What's keeping me from being baptized?" And in that moment, they climb down, and that man is baptized and comes to know Jesus. Friends, it reminds me that we have been given moments in our lives that we should not overlook. There are moments that happen suddenly and in ways we can't imagine. We shouldn't overlook them as moments that we can share with someone about Jesus. Philip didn't. He took that moment in that place where he was called to, and he shared Jesus. And look what happened. That Ethiopian was saved that day. Friends, don't waste any of the moments that God gives to you to share who Jesus is. You may be the person who God is ordaining for that person to hear about Jesus through. And so don't waste any opportunities. In fact, ask God to open up opportunities that you might share who he is with someone today.